This will be video number 20 on the odds and ends hit and miss engine. And the flywheels finally came in. So I'm going to show you how to do the flywheels. I've actually already done a couple of them. And we'll start off by removing the slag around the outside edge. You know, this little ridge here. And then I can put it in the 3-jaw chuck. I just grind this off with a hand grinder. And I usually grind it all the way around. You really only need 3 places to put your chuck jaws. And then you can take that off with a lathe. But it's I find it easier just to grind it off all the way around. After I get that all done, what I do is go in there and file off these little mold ridges. And for that I use a chainsaw file. These work really beautiful. They're nice fine, they cut nice, and especially when they're new. And if you get the right one, you can get the exact curve that's in here, the radius. So you can actually do 3 places if you put it in the vise right. I can do the bottom one here. It doesn't take a lot. Then I can do this top one. Now I'm not going to sand the spokes themselves. This will be it for the spokes. I leave those rough because they're very hard to sand. And they look pretty good rough. So then I can go over to here and do the inside one. I'm not going to show you all of these. It's kind of boring. And then what I do is turn it 1/6 of a turn and do the same thing all over again. That's done. I guess that's it. So that looks pretty good. Now I'll put it in the 3-jaw chuck. Oh, I got one little ridge here I gotta fix. I want to get these all done first because if you put it in the vise after you polish it all up, you have to polish it again. I like to try to get these done first. That looks good. Now I'm using the 6-inch vise, a 6-inch 3-jaw rather, with the reverse jaws, and I can do quite a bit with that. I can do this, the inside of here, that side, and half of the outside, and then just flip it over and do the rest of it. I'm going to set the stop here so it doesn't run into the chuck, just barely. Check it for clearance. Now this being a belt-driven lathe, I have to run it a little fast because if I don't, it'll stall. You may see it stall while I'm doing this. But if I take too much of a cut, the belt will slip and this will just stop. But if I run it a little faster, I have more inertia, so it doesn't do that, hopefully. But I am overspeeding this cut. Taking cuts of about 10,000. I got the belt about as tight as I like to do it. I don't want to wear the bearings out. But what I need is some belt grip. I'm going to have to put a long sleeve shirt on because those sparks are hot. Okay, I'm through the slag on this one, so I'm going to measure it, and because I want all of them to be the same size. The outside diameter doesn't mean a lot. Guys, I got another 75 thousandths to go here. So let's go 20. That's running a little hot there. I'm just going to touch this tool. I think, yeah. Yeah, I guess it's all right for now, but I'll have to sharpen it before I'm done. I think I will sharpen that tool. I don't know if you can see it, but the edge is gone off of that tool. It's carbide, so I'm just going to touch it and bring the edge back on it. Make it easier to cut. That's got it pretty good. It's a lot sharper. Well, that should cut a little better. Oh yeah, look at that, just rip right through it. $140, no, just about right. Take another 3.5. That'll be it for this one. Now I'm going to just face this off. If this gear had a back gear, you could turn the speed way down, and then you can take the cut and go right through that slag in one pass, but I can't do it with this blade. Set up the gauge so I know how much I'm cutting. I want to make sure I get through that slag. I'm not quite through it yet. I can actually see it because it'll be more polished where the slag is and almost feel like chrome. And then this is the cast iron here. So until I see it's all cast iron, I keep cutting. So I'm through the slag on this, and I think Jim's going to have to back off a little bit because these sparks are hot and they're hitting him. So you may not get too many shots of this. The next thing I'm going to do is cut in here and do that into the spoke area. And I can use the same tool. It's set at the right angle already. Just go in here. Set my stop. Go at about 10 thousandths and see if it clears all, just barely. I'm going to go up about another 2. Okay. set my stop right there. And start peeling away the inside here. So now I'm going to cut out here and leave an 1/8 inch rim so it looks like this. And then what I do is I go in a 1/16, and that's, you know, you can do anything you want. I round this edge, I go in a 1/16 there, and this edge I just sand it. I don't round that edge. This edge I file when I polish this. So basically right now I'm just going to do that undercut 1/16 of an inch. I'm going to come in here and set this 0 into there, go 60 thousandths, actually 62, set my stop. Okay, I'm just going to clean up just a little bit here while Jim's taking a break. That's within 10 thousandths. I'll bring it out about another 10. That looks good. Yep, that's good. You see it stalled on there, and it leaves a little mark. So you don't want that to happen on the last cut. So I usually do the last cut at about 5 thousandths. So just take a couple more off if I'm already at the dimension. See how this cuts. I'm just going to sand that up a little bit to see that it looks clean. I want to make sure there's no chatter marks and no digs in it. No, that's good. So, get up into here. So now we got to do this stub here. I think for that I use this one. Spot drill it and drill through with an 1/8 inch drill. Probably doesn't matter, but I like to step up the drills. Put in a boring bar, which I'm going to just take a tiny cut off of it. Now we're going to run through there with the U drill, which is the reamer drill for a 3/8. Okay, there's a piece of 3/8 drill rod. Boy, perfect. That's exactly 375. It's not over at all. So that's perfect. That thing should run really nice and true. And that's what you're looking for with a flywheel. When you, nothing looks worse than a flywheel that wobbles on an engine when it's running. So now, before I flip this around, I'm going to round that edge off. No, actually, I gotta face that off so that it's flush with the outside rim. In other words, if I eyeball down here, I don't want to see any of that sticking out. Okay, that's good. Gonna break the corner here. Now, when you're doing these, one of them has a notch in it. See? The flywheel with the governor has 2 notches in it. And what I do is I leave one of these tabs a little long so I can put that in the milling vise and clamp it just by this and then plunge down and cut that slot on both sides. I'll show you that. I'll show you the setup on that. You want to leave one of these sticking out till the very end and then we'll cut it off. And I'm just eyeballing them from here to there to there. This is just a little corner rounding tool. I should show it to you. I just ground that. It's nothing special. And I'm going to take the corner off of this inside edge. That gives me a nice rounded corner there, and now I'll just hit it with the sandpaper. Now that side is finished. So I'm going to turn the one jaw up here and put a mark on it. So I remember what I did. And that's just going to flip around and go inside right there. I only mark it so if I have to put it down or something, I don't do it inadvertently and forget which is when. So this has to go in here now. Oh, I gotta wipe the jaws off. The rag. Now that should run pretty true. You're looking at the inside edge here, not this outside edge. That runs very true. So first, I want to go to finish the outside edge here. And I want to make that exactly the same size as this. So I got to measure this one first. So this is 1 inch. 37, 1/137. It's a little over. 1/137. I'm going to set up my stop so I don't get in trouble here. I'm getting down close to the dimension. Take one more cut and then I'll measure it. I'm about 40 thousandths over now, so I'm going to take another cut, and then I'm going to sharpen this tool, find a more pointed one. It's not quite getting up, it's leaving a little ridge there. So I'll have to sharpen it or get another tool. Gotta move it down a little bit. Okay, that's getting close. You can take off about another 10. I'll go 5 at a time. And the reason I want to do that is so that when I file it, I don't have so much filing to do. It looks like I got quite a ridge there. I don't know. Might have to take that out and measure it again. Well, that measurement's right. This measurement is 13 over. This is still 13 over. I just couldn't measure it right. It looks pretty good, actually. Now, if I want to test that, all I have to do is move this out a little bit and file that little ridge off of there. Still haven't got all the ridge off of it. But when you file this, if that's 10 thousandths bigger than this, you're going to file, you've got a lot of filing to do. So I like to get it pretty close. As you can see, that's just about the same diameter with that little ridge in the middle, and that ridge will file off pretty quickly. So, that's good. So now what I got to do is clinch it up tight and finish this side. See, now I'm going to measure the width. It's this is 170, 1 inch 70 thousandths. Should be pretty close. Yep, close enough. Now I'm going to do this 60 thousandths deep reveal here. Set that 60 thousandths deep. Put the stop. Good. Now we'll do the end cut. Okay, that looks good. I'm now going to round it off. Rounding tool isn't round anymore. I got to regrind that. Getting too sharp an edge there. You got to put that on the wheel and round it again. Rounded point, yeah. Let's try that again and see if it's a little more round. That's better. measure this and see how much I've got to take off here. Not much. Just get that round. Like I said before, I would just leave this one sticking out if I was going to use that for the governor side. But this one isn't, so I'm going to cut it down. It's not for the governor. Okay, so that's done for there. Now the next thing I have to do is put the other chuck in here and put it on a mandrel so I can file the outside. Find the one right there. This file must be a little dull. It's taking a while to get into there, but I'll do it. Usually it's only a few strokes. Let me try another one just for the heck of it. Now that one's cutting pretty good. Just going to have to pick up a new file. That's not very deep. See, it disappears almost completely right there. And I can't feel it, but I can see it. If I took fresh sandpaper and put on there, it would be a lot better than this. Well, I got a piece of 150 grit paper on there now. That's new. That should cut pretty good. You see that shined it up pretty nicely. With very little effort. Now the next thing I would probably do is go to a 300 grit, a 350 grit. I got a piece here. So this will shine it up really nice. Now we'll go to a 3M pad. You can see, you can shine that up pretty good. I've seen some people polish them afterwards, but I don't believe in buffing them out till they look like chrome. I think they look nicer this way. That's a pretty good finish. I should sand that a little bit more to get rid of that center ridge. It's only visible about halfway around, but I'll do some 120 grit on it and get that off of there. So this one has already been notched, but I'll show you how I set it up to do that. Now, like I said, I left this full length so you can grab it in the chuck. And this isn't rocket science here. Fits in there pretty good. Now, what you want to do is center it. And all you have to do is put a 3/8 plug in there. As you can see, that's centered there. Now that's centered. So I'm going to lock the y-axis and just use the x-axis. So what I would do, I've got a 3/16 end mill in here. And I would just start at the beginning, make sure that this is somewhere near the center. Well, let me show you on this one. If I was cutting that one, I would just cut it about there. It's not really fussy. And then when you go to the other side, you're not going to move it in and out. It's going to be exactly 90 degrees across from it, which is what's important. You can see that one to be there. So I'm going to go back to the notch. So all I did is I got a 2-fluke cutter in there, and you could probably use a 4-fluke too. But I just kept coming down on it like this and moving it in. And when it gets in so that it hits the center, that's what I call finished. See, the shank of the tool is hitting right there, and I've stopped. I don't know if it has to go deeper than that. If it does, I'll have to get either a longer end mill or else just file it deeper. I think that that's deep enough though. So what I'm doing is just squaring off the corners here so that that piece can go in deep enough. Let me show you what's fitting in there. This is the part that drops in there. And that's plenty deep. Probably don't even have to round the corners. I mean, you don't even have to square off the corners. I think the round ones, I think I'll just leave it and see if it's okay. So the next part we're going to make is the part that these pivot on. And it goes on to here. And I'll show you the part. We'll do that next week. So it's the governor bracket. It's just got 4 little ears sticking up on it there and the slot through it. And that fits over the hub of the flywheel, which is 3/4 of an inch. And that's this piece here. And I have made a special jig for that. I think this is the jig I made. So I can turn the end round. Just clamp that in the 3-jaw chuck with a piece in here, and it makes it round. Last week we made these bases, these wooden bases, and I've gone and painted them and varnished them so you can see how they come out. I usually paint the handle holes black, and also the switch thing is black with a piece of black phenolic. And I've already put the switch in this one. It has a LED and a switch here. And then the electronics will go under here, the ignition system. And I'll show that later on. Okay. Another thing I should mention is this is just, what is it, Rust-Oleum spray can paint. It's a metal flake black, glossy black. And it's very, very impervious to oil and so forth, of the fuel that you use in the engine. So it doesn't come off. And that's why I use it. End of number 20, and like I said, next week we're going to do the governor bracket, the weights, and maybe these governor arms, and that's about all the parts. And then we'll do the full assembly maybe in the next one. But, that's it for this. If you liked what you saw, please give us the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We thank you very much for watching.